with broken, smouldering buildings. And how her heart must hurt as she thought of Stefan taken prisoner the moment they'd landed in England. And would Bertie settle here? He'd brought them safely to the mainland, and now he sat in the front seat of Annie's police sergeant's car. As a seafaring man who'd only ever known life in Guernsey, would he be able to make a life here? Olivia thought about how their life would now include Beth, Annie's little niece, and Ian, an East End lad who Annie had rescued when his home had been bombed and his family killed. Olivia had to believe everything would come right in the end, that their hearts would heal from the pain of those they'd lost. And as they did, maybe they would become a new family. Bertie would have his son Joe to help him. Joe had got away from Guernsey weeks ago with Henry, a Guernsey soldier who had been in hiding until Joe could get him to safety. With some trepidation, Olivia asked, "Annie, what happened to Joe and Henry? Did they make it to England and find you?" Bertie turned to look at Annie. "I'd hardly dare to ask, Annie. Is me Joe with you?" "No, Bertie. He made it safely. But when recovered, he signed up and joined the army. Henry had to report back to his regiment, and Joe volunteered for the same unit. They're stationed together somewhere in the Far East." Bertie dropped his head for a moment, but then looked up, pride shining from his face for his son. "Then we're sure to win this bloody war. They'll kill every rotten German they come across." Olivia felt a smile play on her lips as she thought that this was the spirit she must hook onto. Bertie grinned at her. "That's the way, Olivia. I saw your determined look of old flash across your face. You keep remembering what your Hendrik is doing to that end too. And with the four of them, my Joe, Annie's Ricky, your Hendrik and Henry, all fighting for the same thing, it will happen." "You know about Hendrik?" Annie looked astonished. Olivia, who'd sat up straight now, told her, "Yes, I told Bertie on the boat coming over how Hendrik, although vilified by the Guernsey people for being a German and working for the German government as a translator and interpreter, had really been on our side. The secrets he passed to me to pass on to you were a massive help to the British government in deciding strategies." Annie's police sergeant, who'd driven Annie down to Southampton to collect them, spoke for the first time. "I don't think you should be talking about that, girls. Remember, we're at war, and wars, and even cars, have ears." "Sorry, Sarge. You're right." Annie turned to Olivia. "We must maintain the secrecy of what we and Hendrik did. If we fall into talking about it loosely, we may trip up and increase the danger that Hendrik is in." "Yes, of course. Sorry, love. Neither Bertie nor Daphne will say anything." Daphne nodded her affirmation. Her face showed the grief she felt at being separated from Stefan. She'd been devastated when he was arrested, as she'd imagined the British would treat him as a hero for rescuing them all from Guernsey, not take him as a prisoner of war. Annie saying, "Look, we're here. Oh, Olivia, Los is at the door with the kids," changed the atmosphere as they all looked out of the window. There, in the arms of his lovely nanny Los, a young Dutch girl who'd come to work for them in Guernsey, but who had stayed here in London when Olivia returned to the island, was her little Carl. Only he was bigger than she remembered him. He was no longer a baby, but a little boy who had Hendrik's features, with the same unruly fair hair and deep blue eyes. As soon as the car stopped, Olivia jumped out and ran towards them, her face fixed with a bright smile. Los bent and set Carl down on the path, telling him, "Go to Mummy, Carl, run." Then he was in her arms, and part of her world came right as he clung to her before pulling back and looking at her with a quizzical look. "Mummy?" "Yes, my darling, it's me. I'm home, my darling boy." "Mummy, not leave?" "No, never ever again." But as she said the words, a strange feeling came over her. She shook it off as she called out, "Come here, Los. Oh, Los, thank you." And then she clung to Los as best she could, as Carl turned in her arms and put a chubby arm around Los's neck too. "Los, Nanny." "She is, my darling. And now you have Mummy too." "Mummy and Nanny." "Yes, yes. Oh, Carl, I love you." "Daddy?" "Daddy will be home one day."